business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. Every episode is an invitation, a reminder that business and life isn't just about profit, it's about purpose. It's about showing up with a servant's heart in every deal, every decision, every day to make a powerful impact on yourself and others. My guest today, man, I spent 5 minutes with him. This guy's a wonderful guy. He's going to really talk about teaching and educating, but he's going to motivate you. He's going to light you up. He's going to challenge you. But more important, you're going to walk away with tools that inspire action both in your life and the lives of others. That's that servant part. Before we dive in, here's your homework today. How are you going to serve yourself and serve others today? Let's not wait till tomorrow. Let's not wait when you feel like it. Do it today, and it doesn't have to be a big impact. Even a small act of kindness or courage can change the game. So lean in, take notes. Let's discover how servant leadership in business can create ripple effects that last far beyond the bottom line. And a quick shout out to my sponsor, Epic Impact, the only universal emotionally resonant messaging framework that works anywhere for any audience. This 4-page system for step, page, I guess you could say page, system transformed how I pitch, how I do social media posts, and how I develop my podcast. Engage, persuade, inspire, and what I love best, close with clarity. I use it daily and it really works. Grab your free trial at epicimpact.ai with the promo code Steve to start inspiring action today. Shout out, we hit top 20 in small business marketing of all podcasts, about 100,000, I think it was. Thank you to my audience for sharing this and listening. And thank you to my guests like today, because you know what? We're serving because we're impacting people. And that's the whole goal I had when I started this podcast in October of 2022. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. With that being said, let's bring Avi on. Avi, welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So educate us, because we talked about it before the show. How can you serve businesses in finance? Because that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's numbers don't speak to everybody, unfortunately, but really the accounting behind a business, it's really the language of business. It tells you what's going on, how things are working, what's working well, what's not working. And if you don't understand that language, you're missing a huge part of the puzzle. So yeah, education is key on this. You need to figure out what you don't know, and you gotta know what questions to ask of your accountants, your bookkeepers, whoever it is that's helping you in a financial role. You have to understand what they're saying, because that language is very important in helping you build your business.
Yeah, and the bottom line is your ROI. If you're not making an ROI, you're not in business. Even a nonprofit, right?
Yeah, really. Even a nonprofit, the only difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit business is just who the owners are, right? There's still going to be revenue, there's still going to be income, there's still going to be expenses, and that the money that comes in has to still feed the mechanism and feed the machine, supply it with what it needs to continue to go. Right? It's the blood flow of the business, is the cash that comes in and out, and whether it's nonprofit, for-profit, service-based, inventory-based, doesn't matter what the business is. The numbers are the numbers, and the principles are going to be the same. So you have to understand those principles regardless of what your business is and what your industry is.
I love the language of business. That's so powerful, because it is. Yeah, there's communications like, hey, HR, do this and do that. But your bottom line is that. Yeah. I found something I'm so curious about you that you have is this business wellness check. I know there's wellness checks for my health, but you doing it for business. What's this about?
Yeah. Well, business is a machine. It's a body of its own, right? There's things that are happening in the business that are going to tell you whether things are doing well or things are not doing well. And if you want to take that into the parable of a body, of a medical body, is it healthy, right? Is your body healthy? Is your machine healthy? Is your business healthy? Is it doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing, right? If I have a patient come into my doctor's office and he's got high blood pressure and he's got deficiency in vitamin C and D, whatever, you need to check up and see what's going right, what's going wrong, and how do you fix it. Same thing if I have a washing machine. My washing machine breaks down and it's not washing my clothing anymore. The water isn't going in the way that it's supposed to. It's not draining properly. And I need to bring a technician in to see, is it working? What's not? Which parts need to be replaced? Which parts need tuning up? Maybe I need to replace the whole machine. Who knows? But you need somebody who's a professional who's going to come in and look at it and do those tests that are needed. Run that blood test. Take samples, analyze the numbers, analyze the data, and see where's it going right, where's it going wrong. So
Yeah.
a business is the same way. It needs to function. You have to figure out what's the goal of the business. And like any business, really, the goal is to make money, right? To provide for the business owner, to provide for the employees a salary. And if it's not doing that, something is wrong, and you need somebody to come in, a technician or a doctor, and analyze the facts on the ground and see where do we make changes so that things can thrive again.
Now I know why you're the business finance doctor. That was perfect for you.
Exactly.
What a great analogy. And you're much better in healthcare. I won't get into that, but we'll get into the healthcare system, how that works, which is great.
I know nothing about healthcare.
Yeah.
Don't ask me any questions there.
I love it. Your passion for service-based businesses, where's that come from?
So it comes from my faith. I see business. I see business as a way to contribute to the world. When I was trying to think of what did I want to do professionally, I was going into college trying to figure out what do I want to major in. And one of my rabbis, one of my mentors, they gave me 3 questions to ask. One was, what am I good at? Right, that's the skills that I was given. What do I enjoy doing? That's part of my nature also, something I was just built with. And then the third is, what can I do to actually help people? Right? If I don't have all 3 of those components, either I'm not going to be very good at what I'm doing, I'm going to burn out because I'm not actually enjoying it, or I won't have customers. Right? So I see it as a way to serve, a way to contribute in a meaningful way that can have an impact on the world. And if it's something that brings value to people, so it can help feed my family as well. Right? I can help you feed your family better. And at the same time, it's something that can provide for myself as well.
True win-win situation. Best in the world. Faith, God, whoever, you believe in that, that's what they want, everybody to win. How much that, that's, we're not going to get in, that's all different per company. But, growth is important because a company, not super important, but, if you're doing $1 million a year and you want to do 5 million and make more impact, how do you help companies grow to be profitable?
Yeah, so it's all about our focus, right? A lot of business owners, they know what has to be done, but they're oftentimes pulled in so many different directions. And they might see ways to improve 4, 5, 6, 10 different areas of the business. They know that they could be doing this better and that better, but which one is going to move the needle the most, right? If I'm trying to get from 1 million to 5 million, what's the quickest way to do that? I can be nitpicking at the edges and maybe cut some expenses here, cut something there, but is that really having the biggest impact that I can on my business? Where do I want to focus my energies to grow the most, the fastest? So that's where I come in. I do an analysis from a facts and circumstances point of view, from looking at the numbers, looking at the data, looking at the language of the business, right? That accounting that oftentimes is telling you what happened, but isn't giving you the analysis of what do I do differently going forward. So I help them make that determination. What has to happen going forward that's different than what you did in the past so that you can reach that 5 million milestone? And what's the quickest path to get there? Is it focusing on service A, service B? Is it cutting certain costs? Is it investing in certain things? Maybe it's not a matter of cutting costs. Maybe you have to incur additional costs in order to grow. So that's kind of how I help people, is determining which areas need the attention right now in order to have the biggest impact. And once that area is fixed, it's healthy, right? So we move on to area B, area C, and down the line until we can reach that goal of 5 million, 10 million, wherever it is that you're trying to take your business.
Right. I've had guests on my podcast who have talked about dating your money. Eleni, who's a friend of mine, talked about dating your money. You're looking at your money weekly, monthly at least, How important is that?
Yeah. The bigger you get, the more you got to look at it. If your business is something that's fairly stagnant from day to day, from week to week, month to month, so okay, there's not much you have to analyze on a weekly, monthly basis. I think every business needs some sort of analysis every quarter, every half a year maximum. But as your business gets bigger, things change more frequently. The facts change more quickly. So then you need a better analysis done more frequently. I usually will suggest a monthly analysis, see what happened in January, what happened in February, March, April, as you go through the year, and make changes based on those facts. Don't just get the data from your accountant, from your bookkeeper, look it over and say, great, we made X amount of millions of dollars. That's not good enough. You need to say, okay, so what do we do in order to make X times two? How do we figure out how to make X times three next month? What do we have to change based on those? So that analysis needs a little bit of a deeper dive than what you're getting from your bookkeeper, your accountant most of the time. Not to say that they can't help you there, but that's usually not their focus. Their focus is on the past, not on what do I do about it in the future. And oftentimes their bandwidth doesn't allow them to do that. So you need some sort of analysis done. If they can't do it, you need to find someone to help you with it.
Yeah. And I would think, Avi, accountability is huge. And I always say this, what you don't know, you don't know. You come and go, I'll make you know. Talk about your accountability and how you help with that.
So in terms of accountability, it's a matter of having steps in place that you're going to actually follow. Right? That's the way that I look at accountability. Every month, not just doing that analysis, but actually detailing what am I going to do about it, and putting 10 things down on a piece of paper, setting a deadline. Right? Thing one will be done within 2 days. Thing two will be done in 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is. Delegating it to specific people, checking in with them, making sure that it's getting done on time. Because if you don't have a deadline for it, so chances are it's going to get pushed down on the to-do list. Some fire is going to come, push it out of your brain, and then you're never going to get around to it. So I like to assign deadlines to a task, both to make sure that it gets done and so that it gets done in a timely manner, not 3-4 months down the line. So that's where I see accountability coming in.
Yeah, and of course too, you'd be the someone that sets that system up, those 10 things, and the next month go, okay, Steve, oh, you missed that one. Okay, you got these 6. Okay, you missed a couple of these. That's the other thing that I love what I'm hearing from you is you're that third party. You're not the vice president or the manager going, oh, you're okay, Steve. You know, we lost the look. No, you come in and go, no, hey, we didn't do these things. Look what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
powerful. God, I
Yeah,
love
I'm coming in. I'm not doing things for you. I'm coming in helping you set up those next steps. And if month after month there's certain things that are not getting done, we're gonna say, okay, what's going wrong here? Why are these not getting done? Is there something that's preventing it? Is there some other step that needs to be done beforehand? This is also kind of why I like to list them out chronologically, because if you keep getting stuck at step number 5, so maybe from 4 to 5 there was something missing. Maybe there's really like a 4B, a 4C. And we have to analyze that if 5 is never getting done. So let's get back to what happens before that. What's missing that's preventing you from reaching that goal?
Avi, you're brilliant. That's a game changer for businesses. I mean, you're talking about going bankrupt to let's look at COVID. How many people could have used you? Looking at their numbers, hey, I brought this up last week, restaurants, here in California, in Northern California, they went outside. The ones that did, they're thriving today. The ones that didn't or didn't do, and the numbers, the language goes with oh man, this is so brilliant. Well, that leads to a lot of business owners, this is probably a bold statement, are not financially literate in the language.
Right.
/ numbers. Why is that the case, you think?
Why is that the case? There's no degree that's required to go into business. All it requires is an idea and some sort of capital and a way to start that idea. So any person can decide, I'm going to throw up a shingle and go into business with zero education. So who's supposed to give them that education when usually that idea has nothing to do with accounting? It has nothing to do with finance. So how are they supposed to have learned it? Right? So typical case, let's take a lawyer. He's been working in a law firm for 10 years, 15 years, whatever. At a certain point, he gets done being an employee and he says, I want to be my own boss. So I'll start doing contracts, things on the side, litigation for people that are family and friends. And if he's really good at what he does, it expands. His circle of potential clients expands like crazy. Now he's inundated with a lot more work than he can handle on his own. He has to start hiring people. He has to have a staff of his own. He has to have a secretary and paralegals, and there's a whole now world of running a business, running a law firm that he was never exposed to as an associate or an experienced lawyer, possibly even as a partner of a law firm, depending on what his role is. But now all of a sudden he's in charge of everything. How is he supposed to know what's working, what's not working? This is not something that he trained for. Law school didn't prepare him for this, right? So he's going to have to learn from the school of hard knocks, right? He's going to have to learn on the job. And a lot of times he doesn't, where does the education on the accounting come in? It doesn't, because he relies on his accountant, he relies on his bookkeeper, and they're speaking to him really essentially in a foreign language. I call it accountanese. And you need somebody to help translate that into English, somebody who can explain it to you in simple terms. That translation is not trained in accounting school, I'll tell you from experience. You don't learn how to explain concepts. You learn how to understand concepts and how to utilize them. But who's teaching the accountants how to explain themselves in simple terms to a business owner, and teaching them how to use that data to make decisions? Nobody's teaching the accountants that either. Yeah. So, that's kind of where the breakup is. The business owners aren't learning accounting, and accountants aren't learning teaching. But you need that that to mesh together. You need that meeting of the minds, putting something from a foreign language into something that a business owner can understand and use.
Educator, like you, they need an educator to educate them. I love it.
Yeah,
keeps going back to that. And it's interesting, don't YouTube this. So if you're starting a business, don't go to YouTube to see how to do your numbers. This is not a YouTube. Correct. If you want to change your sink, that's a YouTube. You can do that. You can hire a plumber, but don't mess with your numbers, because that's not good. Which leads to, I'd love to hear a story of somebody you work with and how you really benefit them.
It goes back to just what I've said up until now, that it's teaching people how to understand their numbers and how to make decisions based off of it. That's how I help people. For everybody, that manifests differently. Is a matter of understanding where your leads are coming from, which leads are converting, which ones aren't. That's something that's not going to be shown on your financial statements. Right? Your accountant's not helping you with that. They have no idea. That needs some sort of separate tracking, and it needs analysis to an extent. For other people, they're focusing on the wrong product line, right? Maybe they've got a couple different services, a couple different products. They're focusing on A when A is really not so profitable. Maybe it's even a loss leader for them, right? Maybe it's bringing in the clients. We talk about the example of the razor versus the blade, right? You can sell the razor for a loss if it means that people are going to have to buy your blades, and you can make your money off on the blade. That's very nice and good if that's your business model. Have a loss in product A so you can sell a lot more of product B at a gain. But what happens when people are only buying product A from you and nobody's buying product B? You are now very quickly going out of business, running out of cash, running out of profits. So sometimes that's the analysis that's needed to figure out which one is the loss leader, which one is the profit maker, and which one are you actually pushing more and selling more of. So sometimes that's what's needed. Sometimes it's a question of, where's our overhead going out of control? We're spending so much money on overhead, but we don't know, is it our rent? Is it our electric bill? Like, what's the problem here? So every case is different, but it all starts with that overall business wellness check. taking a blood sample, running the numbers, seeing what's working, seeing what's not working, what's broken, what needs to be fixed, and mapping out how to fix it.
We're coming to the end here. It's been a brilliant show. What's the most rewarding thing doing this job?
The most rewarding thing is knowing that I'm impacting people's lives. Somebody who's day to day going to work lost, constantly fighting fires. They come home exhausted and with very little money to show for it oftentimes. Most business owners, maybe they're lucky if they're making minimum wage with the amount of money with the amount of time that they're investing, and the little amount of profit that they have to show for it. Oftentimes, they're making less than their associates, making less than their secretaries, making less than the lowest worker on the totem pole, because they're only taking home what's left. And unfortunately, there usually isn't anything left for them. I was dealing with a business owner that the couldn't pay mortgage, couldn't pay for their kids' education, like couldn't pay for their schooling. They had to figure out, like, do we have enough money to send the kid for summer camp? And it just it kills me to know that these people are working so much harder than their staff, and their staff is showing up 30 hours a week and making $100,000 a year. And here they are, they're putting their sweat and tears into it, and they're coming home with nothing. And to know that I can have some impact there and hopefully help them a little bit, get something more in their pockets and make it a little bit more worth it for them.
Yeah.
Because if that doesn't change, the whole business goes under and all the employees lose their salary, and that doesn't benefit anybody. So what's rewarding for me is knowing that I can help somebody, and make an impact on not only their family but all of their employees' families.
It's a great story, and I love that because that's a lesson for any people listening and entrepreneurs. You have a team. Take care of yourself. I'm not saying if you're making $1 million a year that you should make $500,000 a year. Run the numbers, learn your language to see where you're taken care of. Because if you're struggling as a CEO or founder financially, because your stress, your family stressing, it's just not good. It's not a good language or formula. Let's use the numbers for a successful business. And that's where you come in.
Like they say on the airplane, you got to put on your own safety mask first.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's end with a fun question. I always like to get to know our doctors a little bit more. I'm going to call you doctor because you're a doctor for sure. Avi, I've got a reservation at a restaurant for you. There's a table of 4. You'll sit in one of the chairs. In the 3 empty chairs, who would you invite, whether dead or alive, to get to know, to thank, to mentor you? But I think the most important thing is, what food would you order for the table?
Ooh, food's the easy part, I think.
Okay.
Some steak and fries, steak and potatoes. I think that's one of my favorite foods. Maybe some hamburgers, some good barbecue, something like that.
I'm there with you.
Who are the 4 people?
We'll be 3 people. You're sitting in one of the chairs.
Oh, 3 people. Oh gosh, I only get 3 now.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. If I'm going to pick someone's brain, I think you got to go King Solomon. Our sages say that he was the wisest man that ever lived. It's a pretty good one to pick.
Really good one.
I also tend to be interested in George Washington, or either now. See, you took away one of my seats. I'm torn between Moses, George Washington, and Abraham Lincoln. Maybe
Let's bring
King
them
David.
all. I just added.
Yeah, can I get 5 seats?
We'll get you 5 seats. Go for it. It's your table.
So I would say those are the people that I would take. And if it meant that I didn't get any of the steak and potatoes, so be it. I'll let them have it.
I'll make sure there's enough for everybody. Everybody's eating and drinking fine. They're taken care of. Avi, again, thank you for taking your time, spending time with me and the audience. You're brilliant.
Thanks for having me.
You get this. You have that servant's heart. I can feel it and see it. I know people listening might be seeing the same thing or want to connect with you. How can they reach out and find you?
Yeah, people can connect with me on LinkedIn. Search for Avi Pinsky or Avraham Pinsky, possibly. Both of them should be on there. Usually more active in the DMs than I am in the posting. So feel free to reach out for me there. You can visit my website, pinskyconsulting.com. That's PINSKY consulting.com. And if you want to go visit my website, I've got a link for a prosperity playbook, which is just a simple Excel, which you can use to run your numbers, set your targets, and kind of just play around with the numbers and see, where is my business going? Where am I trying to get to? And what's the best path forward to getting there?
Of course, our servant heart has to end with giving something away for free. I love
There you
it.
go.
That's what it's all about. Thanks again, Avi. It's been a pleasure, such a pleasure. And audience, subscribe
Thanks
to
for
the
having
YouTube
me.
channel. You're so welcome. Here's why to subscribe. These are gifts. And I'll explain it really quickly. You're listening, like I'm listening. I think I'm going to share this with a couple of people I know, and they're struggling with their business and their money and the language of their business, which is the finances. Well, share the link with them. Damn, listen to this guy, Avi, man, you got to check him out. And they listen, they go to his website and they get the assessment and they changes their life and you impacted them. Well, through me, through Avi, through you, you gave them a gift. It's not happening in the world enough these days. I see a podcast as gifts, the way to impact people's lives. And I love the fact that we're doing that. So with that being said, me and Avi want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.